Contemporary bedroom decor is all about keeping it simple. Interior designer Derrick Tabbert gets it right with awesome results. His clients had a good idea of how their master suite should be designed and decorated.
The brief was quite different to the rest of the house. The rest of the house, they wanted something that's quite contemporary with quite a bit of colour. But for the main bedroom, something a little bit more romantic, a little softer, a little less colour. Quite a contemporary feel, but something that's a bit more timeless and something that's very comfortable.
Derrick began the design process with the most important part of the room.
I started with the bed being the centrally positioned in the room. So to try and emphasize, the kind of central area positioned, I've positioned a big round sunburst mirror above the bed, which when you walk into the room, that's really grabs you. Obviously the mattress is the most important thing. This is a tempo mattress, and I custom designed the base to facilitate the tempo mattress. So what I did was I completely upholstered the base, including the legs, in a lovely velvet, and the base has a slatted timber section which then the mattress sits on top. And the height's important because tempo mattresses are normally narrower or not as high as conventional mattresses, so it was important not to go for something that's too low because you'll end up having a very low bed. So yeah, very important to have a custom designed base, I think, for any kind of mattress.
With the base and mattress sorted, Derrick turned his attention to the finer details of the bed.
Again, I've used the same velvet in the headboard, but just to add a little bit of detail, you'll see the pleating detail I added on the left and the right. So the colour's all one colour, but just through this pleated detail, it adds just a lovely subtle look to it.
Getting the overall look and feel right requires attention to more than just the aesthetics. Scale and proportion is key in achieving balance.
Normally the most important thing for a headboard and for bedside pedestals or beds in that matter, is purchase your bedside pedestals first. If you're custom designing a bed base, then it's advisable to go that to have your mattress the same height as your bedside pedestals. Heights of headboards can vary. Obviously it depends on the size of your room and the height of your ceiling. But in this particular case, 1.4 meters high, that's the height of my headboard.
Whilst the colour selection in a contemporary space is important, the layering also plays its part in adding interest and contrast.
Because of the colour, there's not much colour in the room. You really need to bring in, as I said before, the emphasis in the contrast and emphasis also in texture. So, you can see the texture of the throw on the bed compared to the satin cushions. It's very similar in colour, but the texture is completely different. It's so important to bring in contrast into an interior. So, if you could imagine that wall not painted chocolate brown, you would walk in and you wouldn't have a focus area. This gives you such focus, and particularly by positioning lighter coloured artwork and furniture in front of the dark wall, that really gives you the contrast, which then gives you your emphasis.
Technological advances in creating new and exciting fabrics and vinyls means designers have heaps to choose from. Derrick's chosen something perfect to work with his selection of different textures.
It's important to have in a room, as I said before, textures, different kind of textures. So it's nice to bring in something a little bit harder. So I've gone for quite a square geometric shaped chair, but I've upholstered it in quite a glossy vinyl. And again, that's the play on the different textures. Everything here is the same color, but you can see this very glossy vinyl together with a soft velvet. So, quite geometric, but still a play on texture. Very, very important.
The pieces selected for this decor come together beautifully in front of the dramatic chocolate brown wall.
When you enter the room, on the right-hand side, there's a hanging grass bubble chair. So it's important to have symmetry when you walk in. So on the right-hand side, this very overscaled bubble chair, but to balance that, on the left-hand side, on the dark wall, I've positioned a row of white-framed, simple textured artworks. So as you walk in, you've got that balance of the round chair, balanced beautifully with the very contrasted background to the white artworks. Works very, very well.